All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to all you Akim out there pushing this truth across the four winds so we can seal the elect and make it to the kingdom. All right, we are the brethren from the GMS branch here in Wisconsin. Lord willing, coming back to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Lord willing to feed the body and edify the sheep in all spirit, faith, truth, sincerity, and doctrine. All right. And as you can see with the title, all right, small hat. So like, let me see it. Small hat or anti small hat crackdowns and errorists, all right, error attacks alert. Okay. So that's pretty much what's being spoken about, in the mainstream media, what Esau Edom is promoting. Obviously we know and we're going to play the video, but we know the Aris attack warning is something that's to scare the people, and most likely because Esau has the a falsely waving of a flag attack coming, you know, and then obviously the small hat crackdowns because they want to shut the people up. Baba Kashad, if I may, I want to start with this precept right here. The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, who we know is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, woman, and child, beginning with the elite banking families, and Amalek, the small hats, is come down unto you, all right, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." They know that their kingdom and their rulership is almost up. They see that these other nations and these other rulers in these other nations across the world right now are turning against them. Okay, they see that the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the true chosen people of God, all right, are standing upon their feet, remembering themselves and returning back to their God and their power. So they know eventually that their God is going to fight for them. All right. So they want to crack down upon that. They want to stop that. You know,
Right.
you got it, though, bro.
Well, just to answer your point, they being exposed, if you can get that Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, I think around like 7 or 8 verse, you know, and they want to stay hidden. That's part of Esau's power source is his ability to deceive, and of course his sword that he was blessed with, you know, back in Genesis, his father Isaac. All right, and when one isn't working, then he got to come down with the other, which is the sword. But you got to start at
You
verse
said
like,
Second Thessalonians 2.
yeah, 2, and start like at 8, I think it is 7 or 8.
All right, here's 7. Book of Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 7, and it reads, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way."
Right, and that mystery of iniquity is no longer a mystery. All right, primarily unto us and the hopeful elect, uh, true prophets of Yahweh by me outside, but as well the rest of the world. Much of the world is waking up to this devil, and that's what's gonna that's what's fueling the anger of these people, to ultimately eventually rise up in chaos, in civil war, which is what they want, of course, order after chaos. But so the mystery of iniquity that already worked because he was working back then in the ancient Roman Empire. This is the revival of the Roman Empire, all right, the last leg, if you will, of the Roman Empire, all right, and this is the time when he's about to be taken out of the way. You got it,
Verse 8, and it reads, "And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
right? So this devil, he's being revealed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which ultimately is his prophets. Okay, Scriptures also said that he will pour the Spirit upon all flesh. Okay, but primarily the 100% truth is coming from the elect of the nation of Israel, Lord. Yeah, that number. Okay, that's totally revealing because we the witnesses. You know, it's pretty much we on the witness stand. Esau is you know you know the defense. He like a wicked how can I say like kingpin or something that's on trial, and we witnessing against him. We bringing out all the rap sheet of the stuff. But and ultimately the Lord gonna destroy him with the brightness of his coming. But you got I think it's a little bit more, and then we can go to that video.
Second Thessalonians 2:9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Right. This devil, says through the working and power of Satan, he comes to the left hand side of the heavenly Father. He's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan to do the bidding of the left hand side of the Most High here on the planet Earth. Okay, so everything that this devil does, all right, is ultimately the will of the Lord. When you're talking about these different T attacks, and the whole anti small hat, thing, and they coming out with great wrath, into these cities. That's all of the Lord. Amos the third chapter tells you shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it. So um, yeah, and his lying wonders, man. One of the main lying wonders is that chip that he's gonna come with, man. But that's really what the end goal is. After all this said and done, after all the chaos, they want to come with that chip, man. Right, the MARK, the beast spoken of in Revelation 13 chapter, which will allow them total control over the population via their monetary, a new digital monetary system tied in with the social credit system like that of China and the UBI, Universal Basic Income. See? But you got to go through.
You want me to keep going?
Uh,
I mean,
la, la.
well, that's
You
pretty much
probably
the
can do
point.
right.
All right, so we'll go to the first video here. This is from the brothers page Arrows of Indignation 144. All right, and he posted this video just a day ago. But listen up.
Shine a light on you that thanks to Google and SEO will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented. Again, thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully. We are now fully engaged in confronting the global explosion of Jew hatred, unleashed since the attacks of 10/7. Stop Anti-Semitism was built for this. For years, we exposed hate, pressured institutions, and delivered consequences. But after 10/7, the scale of threat and the urgency of our mission changed dramatically overnight. Since that day, we
Hey,
have featured more
pause.
than 1,000 anti-Semites.
Hold on, let me mute it right quick. Oh, God. You got it, bro.
But kind. No, I just want to just pause at that point of her saying after 10/7, the whole October 7th thing, with the that stage T attack, you know, by that terrorist group that started with an H. We got to speak in code if you catch my drift. Um, they said that it was a global explosion of Jew hate. Oh, shit. I didn't said it, but a global explosion of small hat hate. You know, and that's a result of what they've been doing over there with the Geno to the side. To those Palestinians. See, and that's why they're being hated, man. It ain't just no coincidence, that the hatred is coming now. That I mean, I just want to say that, you um, you got it.
On our platforms. 1,000. Not theorized about them, not quietly documented them, feature them publicly, clearly, and with evidence. The results speak for themselves. Approximately 400 of these Jew haters have faced real consequences, including firings, suspensions, and expulsions. More than 300 of them remain in an active investigatory state across universities, corporations, DEI departments, unions, hospitals, nonprofits, and yes, unfortunately, federal government agencies. And yes, 5 arrests to date tied directly to threats and violence of anti-Semitic conduct we helped expose. This is what accountability looks like.
So, if I may comment on that too. So they pretty much want to put the muzzle on people so that they won't say anything negative about uh, the small hats. All right, and they're trying to I don't know if they already did yet, but their attempt is to make it a public humiliation type of thing. If you say anything, anti, small hat, then we're going to publicly shame you, and not only shame you just that one good time, but it's actually going to follow you because they're a partner. What she said was that they're partnering with Google. All right, so that now this it's like this digital footprint, right, or this digital tag follows you, right? So even if you try to go get a job, or if you have a job, you could potentially be fired. If you go to a certain university, you could be potentially kicked off of that university or out of that university. It could potentially stop you from doing certain businesses with certain other businesses. And this is what they want to do. They
Uh-huh.
want to have they want to make people a public example so that they can scare the others. You know.
Uh,
Right.
Kind of
So they so
precept.
they can remain. I got one too. You got it, bro. Because ultimately they want to remain hidden. I was going, but you got it, bro.
I just got a real quick precept. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 37 and verse 14, and I'll let you put it up on the screen, bro. Because ultimately, we all know, pursuing the Deuteronomy, I believe is the 25th chapter. Amalek has always been known to attack from behind. So they do things covertly. It's in their spirit to be deceitful. All right. But what they're trying to do here is they're trying to muzzle the mouths, primarily of the prophets, man. These small hats don't want the truth coming out. They want to maintain in power as long as they possibly can. And and we know, I forget the lady's name. She said the number one threat is the so-called black man in America, man. So these devils ain't saying these things for nothing. They're saying it because they know where the truth is. But I'm gonna read this real quick. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 37 and verse 14, and it reads, "The wicked have drawn out the sword." All right, and we know the wicked to be Esau, Edom. Okay, starting with the top wicked elite. All right. It says the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow. All right, because they're ultimately ready to use force or even violence. To launch. Whether it be a premeditated attack or something that it wouldn't necessarily be heat of the moment. But any force that they would have to use to silence their victims, man. You know, so it says the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow, ultimately their power structure, to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. So what they're doing here is they're intentionally weaponizing the power that they know they have against the nation of Israel. Even though we don't pose a physical threat, we pose a spiritual threat. You know, and their bow is their ability to take away your ability to live your life in the earth, man. Whether it's financially and economically, whether it's your voice, all right, your ability to get on the internet, the social media, and tell the truth. That's what their main goal is, man. Okay, Esau holds the power and he's trying to silence the prophets here, man. Those are the ones that are upright conversation. But you brothers got it.
If you could put up Jeremiah 49:10, because these devils they been exposed, man. You know, at an all-time high for being the devil. You know,
Yeah.
they doing too much. They getting sloppy with it. With Trump going into Venezuela, I think he just announced they're going to war with them. If I'm not mistaken. Uh,
Yeah, Micah, I'll
they,
grab it.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
But they get
Yeah,
sloppy
my
because
God, we can
they
read it.
trying to create these different excuses and do what they've been doing, but they can't do it how they used to do it. What's the saying in the world? It ain't kicking like
Well,
it used to, or something like that. Um, but no, we're gonna bring this out first though. Jeremiah 49:10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare." Right, bare is like bare naked, exposed. All right. It says, "I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." You see, so he can't go back into hiding right now. All right, he's been exposed. His power is waning. He like that the Wizard of Oz that got uncovered. He can't just pull he can't just pull that curtain back over, man, and hide himself, man. Like, no, you out there. So now that he been exposed, he's like, fuck it, excuse my French, I'm the devil, and he finna come down with great wrath. We finna actually witness how devilish the devil is, man. You know, uh, but you got it, my God, you ask something,
yeah, kind of. What was the scripture you need me to bring out, Salaki?
It's on the screen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, this is Isaiah 5:20, and it reads, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter."
right? And that's the society, you know. And woe is just means destruction, you see. And this society they call evil good and good evil. They hate of him that reprove and negate and that speak up uprightly. I'm roughly paraphrasing. You know, uh, uh, um, we speaking good, but they taking our words as evil. They finna crack down on everybody that's anti small hat. You know, and who has been more vocal towards that than probably us? When you think about it, because we the true people. So of course we got to speak on that and make that point and make it plain and clear that that's the case. So they're like, look, we got to get them. That's the ultimate goal is to get the profits off the goods. You know, um, Biggie and the brothers just posted something else.
Yeah, there's
If you can
another
read that,
scripture if I can grab too. This is Luke chapter 8 and verse 17, and it reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad."
right? So all your, you know, how can I say, uh, everything been exposed, man. Everything coming out. There's nothing secret, man. All them secrets, the secret counsel of the wicked, and Psalms the 64th chapter, that's all out the bag now, man. You got um countless of people, creating these social media platforms and they exposing this thing, man. Right? 'Cause that's the times we're in. We in the time for this devil to be exposed. And so it's about to get real, you know. Um
Like if I could say something real quick,
we got
just speaking to the precept that the brother Lamad Allah to learn the power. By the way, Shalom, bro. Yahweh Shema Shabbat. I'm gonna read it again, Luke 8 and 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. See, we understand according to Psalm the 83rd chapter that we have enemies on the earth. All right, there are enemies of the nation of Israel. Okay, with us learning that we're Israelites, we learn that we have enemies as well. And what does it speak about in Psalm 83? It speaks about thine enemies make a tumult. All right, and it also speaks about them taking crafty counsel against thy people and consulting against the Lord's hidden ones, which is speaking about the Israelites beginning with the elect, man. All right. But what are they using to do so? They're using the power of the sword, right? It's not just literal weapons. It's literally their military. It's their police power, man. It's their laws. Okay. It's the economic pressure. It's the surveillance. All right. It's their technocracy. These are the tactics and the tools that they're getting ready to use to try to subjugate and silence everybody, man. You know, because Amalek is known for attacking from a distance, and using psychological warfare and ambush tactics to smear your name, man, or to frame you or destabilize you. Their goal is to completely stop anybody that brings out the truth. But the Lord is saying here in the book of Luke that the brother posted, all right, that none of that stuff is going to be possible anymore, man. All right, now that the kingdom is on its way and it will be permanent, okay, Esau can't stop that. He can't undo the kingdom because it's written in prophecy. But y'all got it.
Uh, well, we can go back to that video. I see you looking at the comment board.
Yeah,
See something.
I like to look at the comments, just to see what people saying. Like somebody here, uh, a brother right here, Yeshaya Hopeful 144 GMS student. It says he said she named a bunch of things that never happened. She admitted to blackmail and illegally firing people. I bet wanting to see the spin list is anti small hat. You know, I mean the point is, everybody can see, even the everyday people, they can see right through their BS, man. All right, don't forget that when that war, or when that war again, between the Israelis and the Palestinians over there, when it first started, um they had a meeting that actually went viral, right? The little clip, remember? They had like a little a meeting over there in Israel. Here it is, y'all in the middle of a war, but y'all having public, or secret meetings, talking about the greatest threat to Israel is the African American men in America. Like, you know what I mean? It's because they know that the only thing stands in the way of them and continuing their power, all right, are the elect of the nation of Israel, man.
Right, right. Well, they know we got next. They know we got next. So the second Ezra 6 and 9. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. They understand that. That's the reason why they doing all they can. But in that meeting that you was referring to, that they was speaking to. They said they need to get evangelical black, so-called black evangelical pastors on their side. They was going to coach them, and then lo and behold, I think a couple weeks back, they gathered like 1,000 evangelicals out there to small hat land, to pretty much get indoctrinated, to come back to the U.S. and to force this agenda, down everybody's throat, to keep that lie going. You see, so they doing all that they can. They buying out TikTok. They bought TikTok, Lil Hat. Then I think they trying to go for Twitter now. They trying to, so there you go.
Right there.
Um,
1,000 pastors visit the Holy Land. You see,
yep, yep. So they got to reinforce that,
and then
that
and
they're
then,
the
and then
people. So like,
yeah, Salakia. I was about to say also, let's not forget, not that long ago, what a couple of months ago, well, actually, I think 2 months ago, right? They had those 50 states for what is that? 50 states and one. What is it called again? 50 states.
yeah, one Israel, I mean,
50
one
state, one
small hat.
Yeah,
Israel.
50.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, one Israel or something
Yeah,
like that.
we can say that.
I believe
Talking
it
about when
was.
they
Yep, right here. Yeah, right there. 50 states, one Israel. When what was it? All the representatives of all 50 states in America meeting in Israel. What do they mean by 50 states and one Israel, man? All right, they're about to literally crack down upon people because don't forget that these small hats, all right, those small hats, they look at the people over here in America, all right, everybody over here in America as a goyim. Okay, you see, what a cattle. You see, and what do you do with cattle? You muzzle them, all right, and ultimately overall you tag them, okay. You tag your cattle,
Brandon.
all right, which we know is going to be that mark of the beast. You got it, bro.
Well, the branding, branding, but that's
Yeah.
part of the definition of prerogative. You read in Revelation, the 13th chapter. But you can go back to that video; it's a little bit more, and then you get that
Oh, you want to go
other
back to it?
video.
Okay, let me see. Can y'all hear it? Salakia. Nope.
And expulsions. More than 300 of them remain in an active investigatory state across universities, corporations, DEI departments, unions, hospitals, nonprofits, and yes, unfortunately, federal government agencies. And yes, 5 arrests to date tied directly to threats and violence of anti-Semitic conduct we helped expose. This is what accountability looks like. This is what action looks like. This is what pushing back hard looks like against the tidal wave of hate that has consumed the United States and global population. From our founding, Stop Anti-Semitism has operated on one guiding belief. Anti-Semitism thrives when there are no consequences. So we created consequences, a lot of them. We created visibility. We turned the spotlight towards those who targeted on our community, making silence impossible. On campuses where Jewish students were hunted through libraries, where professors glorified Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists, where mobs shut down our buildings and administrators hid under desks, we stepped in. We documented the offenders, we worked with attorneys, lawmakers, and victim families, and we ensured the message was not mistakable. If you target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented. Again, thanks to Google and SEO.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier, if I may. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's like they want to brand you with, as a hateful person, and it's going to
Right,
follow
right.
you like throughout, the rest of your lifetime, Hell, they might even put on your gravestone, such and such, Peter Griffin, the anti small hat hater, you know.
Right, right. Put on your
Picture
where,
where,
but
but
no,
no,
if they look, they
they
move the
was
real
the real
people
people,
is the echo.
is the echo. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if they were the real people, the real, Israelites of the scriptures, why would you have to go to such great lengths to prove your right to exist or your to prove anything? Scriptures say that we're gonna be the Lord said He's gonna give us praise and fame and all the land was put to shame. If they being hated, so that points directly to them not being the people, man. You know, and again, they trying to keep that narrative going, but that lie is being exposed. That they trying to act as if the world doesn't have a reason to hate them. They try to act like they're just the innocent. They're just so innocent they shouldn't be talked about. Like, nah, you know. And for them to be able to shut stuff down and follow you around forever and smear your name, speaks to how much power they got. And that's another thing. Like they try to keep their power hidden as if they don't run everything. I see you getting a precept. Uh, you got it. Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello.
Everything good, you are?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're telling me. Oh, I think he went offline.
Right. Full of precept. Lloyd, you still there?
God, I'm still here, bro.
Okay. I guess Uriah kind of like went offline, so he was finna pull a precept, but
I think
doesn't
he's finna
have
go to
one.
Psalm 73.
Kind of, you can grab it, you know,
All right.
and figure it out.
All right. This is the
I think
book
it's in the
of, of Psalm, chapter 73, and verse. Just letting it pull up here for a second. Salakia, y'all. For any delays, we're dealing with technology here, so of course it's gonna do what it do. All right. So this is the book of
Yeah, that's
Psalm.
Satan, bro. Um,
Yeah. Can you hear me, bro?
he just go bring it. Yeah, just bring it out, bro. Just bring it out.
Kind of. You got it, Ahmad. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 73, and verse 5. And it reads, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men."
Right. Speaking about the small hats. Right. They living good. They've been living good, you know. But now uh that good is coming to an end, man. All right. The fatness of the earth. They've been enjoying that blessing. Okay. And once they get taken down, uh America soon to follow. What's the scripture that say, the least of the flock shall draw them out, you know? But there's another precept I was thinking about. Because what this all is going to lead to is a famine of the word. You get Amos 8 and 11.
God. But when you that word that or that phrase, "They're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." When you go into the etymology, it speaks about they're not troubled with work. Having to do backbreaking work, having to use their hands and having to earn everything they have. All right, because they literally inherited the earth. All right, it was written in prophecy that Esau would get the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So through his technocracy, through his social media, his ability to control the media on the left hand side, he's able to control the narrative. He can twist it to his liking, man, and that's exactly what you have going on there. Verse 6, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment." And we understand in the book of Obadiah, all right, it speaks about how Esau's pride, all right, the pride of his heart has deceived him. you know they're proud because they don't have any troubles. They don't have any hardship. All right, they literally benefit from white privilege on the earth, man. you know
Right. Right. But guess what? Pride leading to destruction. So Proverbs 16:18. Hey, if you can
con,
grab the scripture that say, they make a man an offender for a word, you
con.
know.
You can grab it, Micah Allah. I believe it's Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 20.
Got you. Hold on one second. Isaiah Salaki. Okay, this is Isaiah 29 and verse 20, and it reads, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off."
Right. The terrible one is Esau Edom. I think it's Jeremiah. What is it? Jeremiah 49. I think like 16.
Uh,
That terribleness had the seed. Dealing,
con,
you know. And that's Esau through his military might, ultimately through the power of the sword, and through his, his pride and his deception. All of that combined has deceived him. He thought that he was going to get away with it forever. What's that? Ecclesiastes 8:11 said, "Judgment against the evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, it's what he said in the heart of man to do evil." You know, though a sinner do evil 100 times, yet it shall be well with the righteous. I'm roughly paraphrasing. But so yeah, man. Now we at a time where he's getting exposed, and after the exposure, then there's a judgment. See, after the trial period, you get carted off to jail. Okay, but you got to go.
Okay, okay. Um, Isaiah 29:21, and it reads, that makes a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare
Right.
for him.
That
Salaki.
no. Go ahead. Salaki.
That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn
Boom,
us.
right there.
Hmm.
You know, that's what they're doing. They're making us an offender for this righteous word. Ultimately, because we the main target. Wisdom of Solomon the fifth shall tell you that. We say, this sort of righteous man stand in great boldness for the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. You know, so they see the elect waking up and they're terrified. That's a major sign of their downfall. And then now you couple that with the fact that the world is catching on, you know, catching on to them. Now they really feeling the pressure. They're like, oh shit, cat's out the bag. We're being exposed. We got to do something. So they doing all what they can to stay hidden, and eventually that persecution is gonna come down where they're gonna make us an offender for this righteous word. But there's no need to fear, man, because we know that what we're saying is right. You know, we just speaking the words of Yahweh Bashmi outside. Okay, and if the persecution come with that, then so be it. You know, we know it come with the territory, man. All right, we guys got to prepare our minds for those lies, man. Right, that smear campaign that they're about to do. Could you read that again, Bible Show?
Khan. This is Isaiah 29 verse 21, and it reads, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
Right. They lay in the snare. A trap. A snare is a trap. Okay. They can all try to. The lady was just speaking about it. All type of ways they can trap you up. To make your life a living hell, misery. You know, and that speaks to them. One that can. They're the ultimate narcissist, man. They created this lie and they got to keep it going, no matter what. You know, and it's another scripture to say they hate him that reproves in the gate. You know,
Mm.
Lord, you know what that's at?
I believe it's in Amos. Is it Amos? Is it 5 and 10? I forgot. Trying to think. Speaks
I think
about
there's two in Amos that I was thinking.
behavior from that proven to the gate.
And then Salakia for those watching, on the comment board, we the technical difficulties, the brothers. I don't know what's been going on. You're right. You back online.
God, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
the brother. Oh, okay. They was over there struggling for too long. You got it, Lord?
God, I'm about to pull it up now. All right, this is the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, chapter 5, and verse 10. And it reads, they hate him that reproveth in the gate, and they abhor
Man,
him
that's
that
that's
speaketh uprightly. Slack.
right. And that's us all the way. We reprove and negate the chief place of concourse as we're commanded to do, and reprove goes into correction. What's that in John? Where it speaks about concerning Yahweh Shai that he was a light, the condemnation that came into the world. Roughly paraphrasing, and we coming in that vibration. So they hate us the same. Well, he said it. He said, "Look, marvel not they hate you because they hated me before they hated you. Servant is not greater than his master. They persecute me, they gonna persecute you." Okay, so with that video clip right there, that's what they're speaking to. Great persecution, and best believe in the back of her mind, she they want to come out and just say it. We need to get them Hebrew Israelites the most. They want to say they say it in their private meetings, like the brothers just mentioned it. But they gonna get more direct with it at some point. Uh, on the Lord's time, of course. Was that it?
I was just gonna read it again. Um, Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. I just wanted to say something real quick. Reading again, Amos 5 and 10, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Okay, because you got to understand some. You got to understand something in the ancient world. Okay, the gate represented the place of judgment, authority, or public discourse. Because you had in Israelite cities in the ancient world, the gates were basically where legal matters were settled. So this is where basically truth or correction is delivered, and that's what's happening now in modern times, man. They're being corrected through the mouth of the prophets. They're being corrected um, uh, through the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. As we proclaim the Heavenly Father's truth by correcting them and exposing their skullduggery and their wickedness, man. They show their hatred. They abhor us. That goes to show you that they're our enemies, man. They reject the truth because it exposes their deception and their evil practices, man. You know,
Right.
y'all got it.
Hey, you're right. I mean, I guess we can just, you know, probably just go with the rest of that video, and then do a something separate with the other video. Or, I mean,
I mean, we can try to do it. I guess it's good now. So, but I don't know if brothers brought out this, but I before before the Satan was messing with the live, I had a preset.
Psalm 75.
I don't know if
Yeah, we
brothers
can
can brothers can see this
73
right
work
here.
that out.
Brought that out. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we can go to the video. Yeah.
Yeah, these
Yeah, I got
social media, social media.
no, I had to mute it. I mean, I had to unmute it.
ATC terrorists that the Biden administration let come into our country. These are individuals who, under normal circumstances,
Man, doing it again.
Satan,
Um,
man.
groups like ISIS and
yeah.
administration is now some
Wow.
I wonder if you know, you probably could have got to just pause that video. Listen.
the Biden regime. Why aren't they arrested? Why aren't they?
Hey, you're right. Can you hear me? Just pause the video, or just stop it. Just stop the
And
video,
warn
Rock.
you ahead on. It's part of the
Hey, All right. Well, yeah,
Events
we
that are
have
popping
expected
off at
something.
different places.
Once again, Salakia for the technical difficulties.
He's probably playing good on his end. He just probably don't. We gotta let it. I guess let it play out. I guess.
And the government always taking the same route. So Tulsi Gabbard also, they
Play
have
out.
all the information.
All right. I guess it's good now. It's stop. That video was just pretty much going into the T attacks that they gonna do. You know, and how the Biden administration, you know, they let all those undocumented people into the country. You know, unvetted. You know, into the country. And then when Trump got in office, he was talking about deportation of the criminals, but he ain't been deporting criminals, man, or just criminals. You know, he's deporting regular citizens, man. You know, and they letting the bad guy. They really letting the bad guy stay. It's all a stage plan, man. You know, lawyers, you can get or Michael Oliver, 2 Corinthians 2:11. We're gonna end this soon because it's you know technical difficulties. So we're gonna force it.
You said 2 Corinthians 2:11.
Kind of.
Okay, give me Corinthians.
Yeah,
Okay,
we should probably bring out
kind.
a couple more precepts.
This is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it reads, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
Right. And again, you know, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan is Esau, Edom, all right, here on the planet Earth, all right. And he's going to get the advantage or the upper hand, you know, the majority of the population because they're ignorant to what he's to his devices. You know, ignorant means not to know, and devices goes into a evil plot, a plan. Okay, and us, you know, us are the hope of the elect, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Spirit and Shai, we've been made privy to everything that this devil got going on. All right. Starting first and foremost, you know, our apostle elders on down, you know, where we learned the truth from, you know, and the Lord Spirit slept with us so we can, you know, grow in it. And so now we know, you know, and he got a lot planned, man. You know, we know the different plans it's gonna book, you know, by 2030, all of what they want to do, you know. So if brother got any more precepts?
Khan, I got one.
Okay.
All right, just to bring it home. Just lay the groundwork that no matter what Esau does, man, it's not taken away from the fact that his kingdom is temporary and it's coming to a permanent end. All right, so this is the book, and you got it in mind. This is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 4, and I'm gonna read down to 5, and it reads, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Right. And you know, Esau Edom is the wicked that's been triumphant, right? And I said the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, because ultimately he's the ultimate hypocrite. You know, he'll stage these different events in order to get what he wants. You know, when it comes to these different T attacks, he the one that's gonna be behind it. There's gonna be another more inside jobs going on. You know, they the video, if we could have played it, you know, was talking about how they let all these undocumented people into the country from all these different you know, Muslim countries that's known for blowing shit up. You know, that was all strategic. on purpose. So he's a hypocrite, man. He gonna try to stage it as if it's just a random. They blame each other, left versus right, Republican versus Democrat. That's what Trump keeps saying. Well, it's the Democrats that let him in, so you know it's and the hypocrites, man. Trump trying to go into Venezuela. That's hypocritical. They lying like they got drugs, like they trying to stop drugs. So
Mm.
he said, the joy of the hypocrite before a moment, man. We at the end of his moment. It's 10 minutes of fame. You got that,
God, yeah, it's pretty much the Lord speaking through the prophet, basically telling you that, as Esau, he triumphs in his hypocrisy. It's ultimately temporary, man. And then I'm gonna read the last two verses. Salakia, verse 6. It says, "Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?"
right? Right. You know, and that links up with Isaiah the 14th chapter. When they say, "Was this the man? That made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms." When they see the state of Esau in the kingdom, he's gonna be completely destitute, and he's gonna be in his rightful position on the earth, the lowest on the totem pole. All right, and it's all deservedly so, man. You know, it's all warranted, man. His downfall. People try to get on us like, "Oh, why y'all want this to happen?" Like, no, when you look at his track record, man. You see, they want us to forgive and forget, what this devil that did. But the scripture says, "Hey, the Lord." Um, It says it's the righteous thing for the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So our thought process, is righteous, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, you know. And look, it was a lot more, a lot more precepts and things, you said, but the glitching kind of like slowed it down, you know. Um, but if any brother got any more precepts, we can pretty much end it off on that.
Con, that's it, bro.
All right. Well, yeah, with that being said, uh, Lord willing, this was a edifying exhortation to keep you hopeful to let Aki and Walk out there. All right, we at the end. We here now, man. Right? They finna turn up, and we gotta turn up with it, in the spirit. All right. 'Cause while he doing his thing, the Lord is still doing his thing, and the Lord's thing is greater than what Esau got going on. Matter of fact, what Esau got going on is all ordained of the Most High. You know, so what need we to fear? When you got that understanding. So yeah, with that being said, Lord willing, you all edify, and give like more praise, glory, and honor to our by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Ka, Dash, and give honor to the apostle elders of great millstone, peace and blessing to the elect. Salawat.